Something you said about old age hit me kind of hard. I think I'm the oldest person here, even including these, well, lovely women online. I'm clearly older than them, but maybe Charlie, you and I are, we run pretty close, don't we?
You were close.
Yeah, yeah.
You're catching up with me.
Okay. I don't know what that means exactly. In the Heart Sutra, there's a line that goes in the Sanskrit. Well, it's three things: jarapi dukkha, jatapi dukkha, maranampi dukkha. Dukkha, you already understand. The P just means also. So it's birth, old age, and death. For some reason, I like the death one better in Sanskrit. Jara, jarapi dukkha. Doesn't sound better than death.
It does.
It's actually cognate. It's an Indo-European word. It's Sanskrit, and it's cognate with the Greek word that gives us like gerontology, jara. So let's see. I'm looking at another jara guy over here.
Probably Jacob, right?
And there's a jara, perhaps a jara woman. I hope.
What is Jara?
Old age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a club, and if you're lucky, you'll get to join it. Yeah, you get to join the club if you live long enough. Well, Charlie's nodding in agreement. Yeah. Yeah. Well, are there any questions? I didn't think so. No one ever has any questions. You have a question?
Yeah.
Love you.
Okay, so I don't know after the question. We do full prostrations.
What about full prostrations?
Full prostrations.
Yeah.
And I've heard all kinds of different people, like I heard when I first started, I asked about that, and it's just bowing. Don't make anything, just bow. Okay?
Yeah.
But then I've also heard, well, it's bowing in gratitude. It means being grateful. Or I've heard, well, it's a primate response that you get. Or I've heard it cling to your karma. I mean, there's all these different things that you tell people, we tell people. And I'm concerned, will that, if we teach that, does that just confuse people about what a full prostration is for? I mean, then do you start to expect? I mean, somebody said, oh, it opens your heart, but what if you do them and you don't feel like your heart is open? Did we lead them on to something that?
No, this is interesting. I've never said any of those things.
No, you haven't.
About prostration. You've been keeping tabs, huh? Okay.
Right, you haven't said it.
Well, let's leave it like that. Next question. Next question. Charlie.
You sure you want to leave it like that? No, my question is really has to do with something that Jennifer mentioned.
Yeah.
In her talk, because the emotional considerations that we develop as human beings, they're very human. We have these really powerful endurements and sometimes hatreds of different people and situations or whatever else. But when we speak of emptiness, we're really making a note, I think, to ourselves that these endurements and hatreds are personal perceptions. There are attachments, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's no reality to it.
There's no what?
No reality.
Oh, reality to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reality except that I have a feeling about it. I mean, I have this strong feeling, and the reality of that perception and emptiness don't equate. I mean, what we often used to say, don't attach to anything. But our perceptions are the attachments that we have, if I'm not mistaken. Can you say something about that?
I wish I could. Yeah, so we are attached to things that we like. We're usually not attached to things that we dislike. We'd like to just completely get rid of them, much less attach to them. So another, a synonym for attachment is clinging, which I think is a little more evocative of what we're talking about. You know, when you cling to something, well, there's the English phrase that automatically follows it, you know, clinging for dear life. Yeah. So maybe that's just a stronger form of attachment. It's certainly in the same constellation, clinging, attachment, holding, yeah, and hardly ever letting go. Yeah. So this comes from, a basic feeling of insecurity. You need something to hold on to. And that insecurity comes from not perceiving clearly what we really are. So we practice, you say, clear mind, open heart, strong center. Those three. Clear mind happens to be up here by the brain, so you might think, well, I guess that's the most important, and in some sense, it is, because without a clear mind, without clearly perceiving what this world is all about, clearly perceiving the suffering that is universal, and so universal that we sometimes hardly notice it anymore. All of the wars throughout the world. So seeing things clearly is the first step. Clarity. And if you see things as they really are, compassion just occurs naturally. The open heart. Here, what about here? If your center is not strong, it doesn't matter how clearly you see something, how much you want to express love. Without a strong center, you often just can't do it. So we can't live up to our noblest impulses. Whenever I notice this in myself, there's a number of emotions. One is just very upset with myself. The other is just a feeling of helplessness. But what also comes along for me is the real necessity of practice, so that we can not only be acutely aware of suffering in the world, whether it's caused by us or someone else or in concert, which is, I think, the usual situation, actually. If you can see it clearly, then there's hope. If you can't see it clearly, you're not even aware of it. You're not likely ever to do anything. So, clear mind, clear mind, clear mind. Don't know. That's sometimes recommended as a mantra to do when you're practicing. Were you ever taught that? Yeah. Yeah, clear mind, clear mind, clear on the inhalation. I mean, you can't say it on the inhalation very well, but you get the idea. You're not pronouncing it out loud. Clear mind, clear mind, clear mind. Don't know. Has anybody ever tried that meditation practice? Anyone else? It's the older generation, Charlie. Sam, what about you?
I use a lot of don't know, not specifically that way,
Yeah.
but always part of my practice is it ends with don't know.
Is what? I'm sorry?
It ends with don't know.
Yeah, don't know. Yeah.
Soto style.
Oh, Soto style. Sam.
That is in the Soto tradition.
Soto tradition, yeah.
We vow
Yeah.
9 times in front of the
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah. So, here, and then the heart can open. How can you be strong enough? Where does that strength come from? Pardon me?
Practice.
Yeah, from practice. Sitting and bowing, mostly. Chanting, too, comes from here. So when we say practice hard, that's pretty much what we mean, what we've been talking about. Practice hard. Yeah. That means make a real effort when you practice. You're putting in the time anyway. Why just go through the motions? No. So 100%. Well, that's all I can say about that. Are there any other questions? Thank you, Charlie.
I have a question, Stan.
Yes.
So, speaking of the whole clear mind, don't know, what I have always heard from, I think both you and Judy, about practice, about sitting practice, is not to change and do a potpourri of different practices. Like if you have one, like mantra, you stick with it for a time.
Oh yeah.
And don't just do, I'm going to do this one day, I'm going to do this another day. And so why is that actually?
Well, I hate to tell you, but that's called being flibbery-gibbety. Is that the word? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Flibbery-gibbety. Yeah, if you don't stay with something for a good, long, concerted effort, nothing's going to come from it.
But you're still meditating.
Yeah, not very well though,
I don't know. I've never tried. I never tried being flibberty-gibberty. So
I don't recommend it. Okay. For most people, it occurs naturally. I don't
at
mean,
least in meditation, I haven't done it.
I'm using it as a little bit of a metaphor.
Right.
Yeah. When we say somebody's a flibberty-gibberty, it's no compliment, huh?
Right.
Scatterbrained.
Right. Like Maria in Sound of Music.
Like what?
Maria in The Sound of Music.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know that.
It's okay.
Melody.
They use that line in a song.
Oh, do they? Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's good.
Sorry.
No problem. Yeah, so I know all of you take this practice seriously. You wouldn't be here, at all if you weren't. But all of us, and I'm certainly including myself, are in need of reminders of what's really going on here and how serious it really is, both for our own lives and for this world. It's hard to produce evidence, but I deeply believe, I firmly convinced that our practice has a direct result on the tenor of this world. Not simply in that maybe we become stronger and clearer and more compassionate and go out and live our lives, but there's something, you might say, metaphysical about it. I don't think every teacher in the quantum school of Zen would strongly agree with me, might not express it that way. But I myself am convinced that when we're in the cushion, whether it's alone or the sort of Sangha that we have right now, that we are directly influencing the world for good. You don't have to believe that to practice. You might not be inclined to think along those lines. I'm just telling you what I have come to feel very deeply over the course of 45 years. Yeah, I've been practicing this. It's probably longer than anybody except Charlie. No?
I'm trying to catch up with you.
I'll slow down, okay? In this together. You don't have to subscribe to what I just said for practice to be, of value. I'm just expressing how I've come to feel over the decades that I've been doing this, and to repeat that it has a direct salubrious effect on this world. If you do believe that, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to practice. Sometimes, and in the past I've felt this way. You sit there, why am I doing this? What good is it doing, really? Those doubts. I don't particularly have those, doubts anymore. But anyway, you have a question, I think.
Yeah, I think I can just lend a little bit of concrete reality to what you said and what you believe.
What is that, concrete reality?
My wife is a very giving person. She's just naturally that way. She's not a Buddhist in any way. Mm-hmm. But she had a lot of trouble with me.
She has trouble with what?
With me.
Oh, of course.
Of course, you're right. Pretty distracting. Couldn't always be the wonderful giving person that she is because her problems with me. Well, I've been able to fix a lot of those problems by sitting, and it releases her, I think, to be more generous and giving in the world because she's not worrying about something she shouldn't be worrying about.
Well, has she noticed this in you?
Yeah, we would be divorced. So I work concrete belief. I can't think of any other thing that would have changed me like that.
Yeah. Okay, you have living evidence.
And I do think about it.
Sam, take a bow. Yeah, this is great.
It's nice not to be.
Anybody else have stories like that? Sam, you're unique.
I think I can tell though too, because
tell me, what?
Over the last couple of years, because I've been practicing for like 12 years, and then the last couple of years I haven't been as much because we've had a lot of life changes. And like the one thing I notice the most is when I'm not practicing regularly, I have a quicker testiness factor. I'm more likely to get cranky with people faster. I don't have the patience when I'm not practicing as much.
Well, you know what?
What?
Better keep practicing.
I better. That's what the students at school would say.
They say
too.
That. Yeah, that's good. Well, we've come to our appointed hour.
Oh, Liz has a question.
But I was going to say, if there's one more question, let's have it.
At the class with Jess Rowe on the Heart Sutra, and on his notes about the meaning of the words and stuff, there was it seemed when I was reading it that the idea of no self, and emptiness collided. That would be about the only way I can say it. Just this understanding of no self, perhaps through the lens of emptiness. And so do you have any thoughts on that, or?
Yeah, I was attending that class also.
Yeah.
Has he given the second one and I missed that, or is that next week?
No, that's next week. Or I don't know what week it is, but it's he hasn't given the second one yet. No, it was in the first one, and I, of course, I read the entire pages that he had ahead. So
Jesro is a senior teacher in our school, a novelist, very brilliant communicator, and he's teaching a class on the Heart Sutra, just going through it word by word. It's in two parts. Well, we were there for Judy and I, and maybe about a dozen people or so. I can't quite remember. It's really good, and it's free, and you can maybe, if you're interested in it, I'll get the sign-in information for you. I'm sure he would welcome you being there. And that I maybe forget completely what the question was. Sorry for the digression. What were we talking about?
Emptiness, no self.
the emptiness, no self colliding.
Emptiness, no self colliding.
Yeah, those two ideas kind of went wham.
What kind of collision is this? I don't know what you mean. It's a contradiction, or
no, not a contradiction. It was maybe it was a more of a going together, like understanding no self better through emptiness. And I don't know why I never I didn't.
Yeah, I think it's a marriage made in heaven. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that really meant something to you. You probably understand it, but it meaning something to you is a little different from just understanding it. Is that your experience here?
Yes, but then I don't know what to do with it after that. So, or what's I don't know. Is there anything else you can add to that? I guess perhaps not.
We have these realizations that occasionally hit us. What's really important is the follow-up, is to really digest it. The natural reaction is, oh, now I get it. Wow. But that's not digesting it. So when you have some sort of insight like that, an experience like that, stay with it. You can rejoice, but don't just rejoice. Okay? So thank you for that question. And let me know, any of you, if you're interested in part 2 of the Heart Sutra class. I'll make sure you have the information.
Is it through the online?
It's is it on YouTube? It's free. No, and it's
I don't think it's free, Stan.
We paid money. It's worth every penny.
It's part of the Zen 360 series, and the Zen 360 series is not free.
How much did we pay?
I subscribe like $25 a month or something and it's usually 2 classes a month, so that's about what it would cost normally.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I'll find out about that too when I get the information. Yeah.
If you sign up to the farm school for the class, it's $30. Okay, and you don't have to attend the class. It is recorded, and
you have access to it. You have it. Okay. Okay, it's better than I thought.
So you don't have to be there on Monday night when he gives the second class.
I see.
Okay, but you do have to sign up for the class if you're not a member of the online Zen community.
Right.
If you are a member of the online Zen community.
Yeah, if you pay your dues, you're a member.
Yeah, Charlie's a member. Okay, thanks for all of that information. I didn't know. I mean, Judy said, come see this, and I didn't realize what she had to do to get it there in front of us. Okay, well, thank you all very much. Let's finish strong, okay? All right.